I like my fried eggs with pepper. Loads of pepper. And currently I just use a regular peppermill for this. However, turning it by hand for that long is a real pain in the ass. Therefore, I want to upgrade it by attaching an over-engineered crank on top of it. For that, I've sketched the outline of the design when I was bored during one of my lectures. First, I'll make the arm of the crank, which will be fixed to the mill. Thereafter, I'll make a freely rotating handle by using a needle bearing between the grip and the core of the handle. How that works, I will explain later. Okay, we have got the top part of the mill here, where the arm of the crank will be attached. It has a curved surface that I want to anticipate on in my design, to obtain a tight connection of course. I try to get the approximate cross-section by cutting out the silhouette with a piece of paper, such that I can measure the dimensions of the shape. It took me some iterations, but I ended up with an approximate shape I could work with. So, I jumped onto SolidWorks and got the first design, with only the important features implemented. To ensure that the fit of the connection to the mill is sufficient, I did a quick test print, and as you can see, the fit is quite alright. So, after that, I also improved the structure of the arm to reduce mass, but mostly for aesthetics. Okay, I went to check the mass of the new design, which is 38, and I compared it to the original design, which was only 35, meaning that I only increased the mass actually by all these walls that are now added, which would otherwise be just normal in the fill. Okay, so it's purely for aesthetics. Nice. After printing, this is what I ended up with. The arm of the crank now has this honeycomb-like structure and a concave pocket to fit onto the top of the peppermill. It has holes for screws to fix them together, as the mill is made out of wood, I think. On the other side, there's also a hole that will be used to connect the handle to the arm. The handle consists of 4 different parts, or 5 if you counted correctly at my initial design sketches. It looks like this in CAD, and I can show you how it works in SolidWorks, but where's the fun in that? Therefore, I'll just print the final parts so I can explain how the design works with the actual components. In the meantime, while the parts are being printed, I'll take the time to make the needles for my bearing. I first thought of printing them, but then I realized I still had some metal rod lying around, which I could use. So, let's get to work. The rods are now cut to size within the tolerances, meaning they will only need a quick sand to get rid of the sharp edges and flatten the ends. With the needles done, it was only a matter of time before the printing was also done. Luckily for you, you won't have to, because you're watching a video. So, the parts seem to be printed alright, meaning we're all set for assembly. But before we assemble it, let's go over the design, as I promised. First, a rectangular pin will be inserted through the arm of the crank, which is constrained to go through by the enlarged head. I've also added these small notches in the corners, as right angles are rounded in printing, which could otherwise cause trouble with the fit. The core can then be slid onto the other end of the pin when it's completely assembled. The core itself cannot rotate due to the rectangular pin it's slid onto, so therefore 4 grooves are added where the rods can rest in, which will serve as needles of the needle bearing. The grip is put around the core, which is then able to rotate freely. To reduce friction, small strips are added along the length of the handle, as the needles will then only have a few contact points instead of a complete surface. Although this might cause some wear later on, but that's a problem for future me. The core is closed on one side and has an extended edge to prevent the needles and the grip to fall off from the side. The subassembly as a whole can then be slid onto the pin. Well, now that's out of the way, there's only one thing to do. Assemble the crank. This might also be a good moment to explain why I designed it like this, since you might be wondering, why are you using so many parts? And that's because of the print orientation. In my previous video I have done a short explanation on this, but basically for 3D printed parts the strength in the Z direction is significantly lower than the X and Y direction. If I would have printed the core directly onto the arm using the same print orientation, the chance that it breaks during cranking is just very high. So the pin is printed on its side to be strong in the longitudinal direction, and the core and the grip are printed right up to be strong in the radial direction and to end up with an accurate shape of a circle. But now let's finish the build. The crank is now fully assembled and the handle seems to rotate just fine, although it could use some lubrication. Now we only need to attach the crank to the actual peppermill with some screws. For that, I first wanted to drill some holes into the top of the mill with this old hand drill I got off the market, such that I can have more feeling while drilling. My wood drill bits only came in 3mm or larger, but my screws are too thin for that. So I used 2mm metal drill bits instead after creating initial holes. I also put the screws in by hand to prevent over torquing it, since I don't want to break the peppermill obviously. It took me some groaning and heavy breathing to get the 3 screws into the damn wood, but now it's finally finished. Nice! Oh yeah, it turns out to be out of balance now, so I might have to fix that soon. But let's see if it's working now. First without any black pepper, and it works just fine. It runs smoothly and the range of motion doesn't feel awkward or anything, so now let's test it with some actual black pepper and see if it works. And now for the moment of truth. It's getting more smooth. And see how much pepper we are grinding right now. Wow, how amazing is this? This means there's only one thing left to do. Until now, you might have been wondering, is he really making this to get more pepper on his fried eggs? And the short answer is no, not entirely at least. You see, I live with 11 other students in my student home, so every time I cook it's for 10 people on average. That also means you need a lot of spices, including black pepper, which becomes quite tedious to do on that scale. So therefore I wanted to design something to help me with that. Anyways, I hope you liked watching this video and let me know if you want to see more designs like this. See ya! Oh fuck.